the second Passover and the second Exodus. And Danita Locke started me this morning in looking at the second Passover, which again, if you're ceremonially unclean, you eat it 30 days later. And let's look at how that plays out into the second Exodus, because it does. Again, the Torah is such a great jigsaw, we'll be pulling things out of it a million years from now. So, what we have here is this. We leave on the first Passover, and that we see in Revelation 12. We leave our homes. We'll look back to Deuteronomy 28:68 for our method, that we go in ships. Isaiah 11:14 expands that and includes airplanes for some of us. Judah, of course, leaves first. That is Genesis 46:28, I believe. Judah leads the way. That's also Matthew 24:15 and 16. When they see the abomination of desolation, then they go first, so they're leading the way again. Again, we all go to Egypt, and we all have to get out. We have to have a second Passover from Egypt. So in the particular year that we're going to be leaving, we will actually have two particular Passovers. So again, we're greater in scope, because again, we must leave Egypt on the same time as the first Exodus. That's Exodus 16:1. They left on the 15th of the second month, so 30 days later. Or 29, however you want to play it, the next moon cycle. So we're not going to be there long. Those who get there by ship are barely going to get there anytime. They may be there 15 minutes before we got to get the crap out. Those by plane, they may be there the full 28, 29 days. Whoop-de-doo, greater blessings. And we can all do a little bit of jail, stand on our heads. I mean, they're feeding us during that time. I assume they're not trying to starve us to death. So that sounds great. So, but it's interesting when you look at it in Numbers 9, because in Numbers 9, they ask about how do we do it because we're ceremonially unclean. They don't say about a trip, they just say ceremonially unclean. And then in verse 9, the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, when any of your descendants are unclean because of a dead body or are away on a journey, they are to celebrate the Lord's Passover. But they are to do it on the 14th day of the second month at twilight." Again, same as the first on twilight. "They are to eat the lamb together with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They must not leave any of it till morning or break any of its bones. When they celebrate the Passover, they must follow all the regulations. But if anyone who is ceremonially clean and not on a journey fails to celebrate the Passover." So the first time, okay, in other words, on our particular Passover, are we on a journey? No, we haven't started the journey yet. But once we have that, we have a second Passover 30 days later, because then we're on a journey. And we're, the question comes in, are we ceremonially unclean if we touch a dead body, whatever it is? But we have that second Passover as we leave Egypt, again, on a second time. Now, that doesn't mean that we're eating the lamb on the second time. We may not. If it's provided for us in Egypt to do that, then that's great. Those of us who are sitting in jail, I doubt we're going to have the ability. But the issue is, again, we have a date that will actually correlate on a Passover for future years. So in the millennial reign, when they are in fact ceremonially unclean, they can say, "Oh wow, we have the Passover on this date, but if we're ceremonially unclean or on journey, I see also where you had a Passover 30 days later." And so they have that word Passover for the whole time during the millennial reign, and they can see that for what we will do, where we will have two different Passovers in our particular year. Again, it's just an amazing thought as you walk it through of what's going to happen with us.